Hello, my name is Owen, and today I want to take you all on a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf is in the background of most of my videos, but I've never done like a thorough tour of what's on it and what's in it. And just to preface this by saying, this is my college apartment, so it's not long-term living, at least not more than a year. So my bookshelf isn't nearly as grand or as spectacular as most people's bookshelves that have like had years to build it up and establish it. But this is the first time, even in my childhood home, I didn't have like a bookshelf with like my knickknacks and like I felt like I could get my personality out there, which this one I feel like I did a little bit, which is why I'm more proud of it and why I kind of want to show it off. So I'm just gonna go through the stuff on my shelves and just give you guys a run through of what I got going on here. So I'm just gonna go over very quickly what's on my the top of my shelf, the bottom shelf, and then the middle shelf, because those are the shelves that aren't very important. I've only really deeply aestheticized, is that a word? The top shelf, and you can kind of see it at the very bottom, but we'll get there. Top of the shelf, we have a Ring security system, cowboy hat, it's great. And then we have, my roommate actually got these in LA, the script for Interstellar, written by Jonathan Nolan, obviously Christopher Nolan directed, great movie. And then Inception, the other Christopher Nolan movie. We love Christopher Nolan here, so we want to honor him by having two great scripts just sitting on the top of our shelf. Going to the bottom, we have a board game, Azul, fun game, and also Burger King coupons. We're gonna move on. Then on this shelf, we have Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Obviously, I talk about incessantly. We have the playbill for The Play That Goes Wrong. I saw this when I was studying abroad in London. Hilarious play, if you ever get a chance to see it, whether you're in the West End or you're on Broadway or you see like a local production or whatever. Hilarious. Highly recommend. Then we have Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I read this a couple weeks ago, and I actually really enjoyed it. Matthew McConaughey, it's like a memoir. He writes exactly how you would expect him to write, and his life goes about how you expect Matthew McConaughey's life to have gone. Some of these stories in this book are so ridiculous, I'm 95% sure he made them up. However, even if they're made up, they're still so on brand that I can't help but enjoy them anyway. He's very philosophical, he's very deep. Look at that pose. All right. It's a good book though. If you like Matthew McConaughey, also if you like, I don't know, like philosophy from like a Texan man, it's all on brand. These are some of my roommate's books, these three here. He's the one that introduced me to End of Eternity, the Asimov book. So he's reading, or he has two more Asimov books, The Gods Themselves and I, Robot. And then he has this book, The War of Art, which I don't really know what that is, but it's his, so I'm not gonna judge. This is when I read The Night Circus. I got it from Barnes & Noble with the blind date with the book, and they said the circus arrives without warning, which is kind of lazy when I realized it's just the first sentence of the book. I thought they were like being really clever with their hint, but they weren't. They just wrote the first sentence of the book. So in retrospect, that's lazy. Then I have the Divine Comedy, the three parts of the Divine Comedy, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, because I'm actually taking a class on Dante. So I'm slowly reading through his works and learning how to read poetry and analyze Dante's work, which I find fascinating right now. So I can't wait to get to the Divine Comedy. So this will be read shortly. And maybe if like I really click with it, I'll make a video about it. But it's all so new to me. I'm working through it. Then we have, I don't know if that focused on me at all. Hopefully it did. Then we have this guy. He's like a little stress. I missed it, my depth perception. He's like a little stress squeezer, but he's cool. And he looks kind of stupid, which I like. Then we have a deck of cards, and then also the Jokers, because we live in a society. And then finally, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, the top shelf. We're gonna start on the left, and this is cool. We'll go into detail about this little guy right here. I did a video, like a short about my knickknacks, but I'm gonna talk about them a little bit more. I got cat bookends on either side. I got them at that thrift store for like $5, and I love them because they're like dense and they're kind of heavy, and I just like bookends. I think it's a really cool concept, and I'm glad that I have some. Then we have this guy, a little raccoon. His name is TSJ, don't ask what it stands for, and I got him in Seattle at a thrift store. And he's kind of cute, he kind of looks sad, but he looks kind of like mischievous. Like he knows he's up to no good, which is why I like him. Then we have this, I got this while I was also studying abroad, the Cardiff Castle Snow Globe. Got it in Wales. There's a little goat in there. There's a goat there. And I was actually at Cardiff Castle when I got this, and it was a very cool place. And as a medieval history lover, to see a castle built by William the Conqueror was awesome. I loved it. It was amazing. This is the only book that I haven't read that's on my shelf, War and Peace. I'm gonna get to it, all right? I'm gonna get to it. Classic lovers, be on standby, because I'm gonna get there eventually. Tomorrow. It's one of I think it's the biggest video on my channel right now. It was fine. I definitely don't think it deserved the hype that it got, but I guess I'm glad that I read it just so I'm in the know. This book is an interesting one. It's Travels with the Donkey by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's a non-fiction book, and I got it at a used bookstore, but it's like an illustrated version. Here, I'm gonna find one of the cool illustrations. So it's like a non-fiction book about his travels through France and like his like love-hate relationship with this like kind of stupid donkey. And it was kind of like interesting because it wasn't very interesting, if that makes any sense. Like, it's literally just him traveling from one place to another and nothing like amazing happens, but it was just interesting that he felt the need to write about it, and that's what makes it interesting to read about. Because like his relationship with the donkey is sweet, but it's not like a super developed like proper book relationship. It's just like literally slice of life, but it was cool. This book is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I got this at a used bookstore in London. So it's also like, I don't know what it's from, like the 60s or 50s. It's not terribly old, but it feels old to me because that was obviously 40 years before I was born. And it was a good book. So that's why that's there. We're gonna skip the Book Nook because it's so cool. Count of Monte Cristo, you know it, you love it. My favorite classic of all time, because I just read it like a couple months ago too. Then we got our Bachman. Well, I guess The Outsiders is kind of ruining the Bachman streak here. But A Man Called Ove, and then the next two Beartown books, because I'm lending out Beartown right now, so it's not on my shelf. And then The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which was annotated by a friend of mine, so it has earned a place of honor on the shelf. Then we have a glass or ceramic dragon. This did come in a set of two. But my friend has the other one, and they're like chopstick holders, I believe. At least that's what they look like. They look like chopstick holders. And then we have, a friend also gave this to me, my star sign, Cancer. It's a little booklet. That's cool. Cork, other book, bookend. And then finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. Not a book, but a book nook. This is a sailing memory. It took me and my girlfriend about 5 hours or 6 or 7 hours probably to build. It's very detailed, and it's like look at this. Like, once you're in it, like, you're in it. And I wish I could get like the eye perspective, but like the camera doesn't quite fit and see all the details. But like you could see all like the clock and like the paintings. Those are all individual pieces of paper that we had to glue on to these little wood like frames and stuff. And everything you see that is 3D was built. We were given sheets of like basically like light, like airy wood that we had to punch out all these shapes. And then there's also like sheets of paper, obviously, like I said, for the paintings and stuff like that. So everything that is 3D or protrudes a little bit was built. Like that box, the little chest at the bottom, that was built by making like 4 or 5 pieces stacked together in a box. And like the lid of the chest is, as you can see, like 6 little hoops that we had to like literally glue painstakingly together with super glue to make it into a chest. But it really became like a cool, and I'm gonna give a full like perspective, like how it looks in the shelf now. Like a cool like immersive perspective into like, I guess it's like the captain quarters of a ship, but I think it looks absolutely stunning in a shelf. And I always wanted a book nook, and I got one for Christmas, obviously. I just think it looks fantastic, and I'm so happy with it. And there's like a switch up top. I'm not gonna turn it off now, so I don't keep it on all the time, but whenever like I'm in the room, I like to turn it on just because I feel like it just like builds like the aesthetic. So this is the whole top shelf, like the good shelf in action. And it's literally like, I know that like book nooks are supposed to be like a little world, but like it really is like just like an entering a little world of joy. I feel joy personally. I don't know about you guys. This was kind of like a nonsensical video, but I thought I'd just like give it more intimately, tell you the stories behind like the books and then like the little knickknacks I got, just because I think it's cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you. Be sure to subscribe.